This is a random one. I've just opened it at Proverbs 25. More Proverbs of Solomon. I'll read a page. I'll read the whole thing, These are more Proverbs of Solomon, copied by the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings. As the heavens are high and the earth is deep, so the hearts of kings are unsearchable. Remove the dross from the silver, and out comes material for the silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's presence, and his throne will be established through righteousness. Do not exalt yourself in the king's presence, and do not claim a place among great men. It is better for him to say to you, "Come up here," than for him to humiliate you before a nobleman. What you have seen with your eyes do not bring hastily to court, for what will you do in the end if your neighbour puts you to shame? If you argue your case with a neighbour, do not betray another man's confidence, for he who hears it may shame you, and you will never lose your bad reputation. A word aptly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. Like an earring of gold or an ornament of fine gold is a wise man's rebuke to a listening ear. Like the coolness of snow at harvest time is a trustworthy messenger to those who send him. He refreshes the spirit of his masters. Verse 14. Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of gifts he does not give. Through patience a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone. If you find honey, eat just enough. Too much of it will make you vomit. Seldom set foot in your neighbour's house. Too much of you and he will hate you. Like a club or a sword or a sharp arrow is the man who gives false testimony against his neighbour. Like a bad tooth or a lame foot is reliance on the unfaithful in times of trouble. Like one who takes away a garment on a cold day, or like vinegar poured on soda, is the one who sings songs to a heavy heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. In doing this, you'll heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. As a north wind brings rain, and so a sly tongue brings angry looks. Better to live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. Like cold water to a weary soul is good news from a distant land. Like a muddled spring or a polluted well is a righteous man who gives way to the wicked. It is not good to eat too much honey, nor is it honourable to seek one man's honour. Verse 28, last verse. Like a city whose wells are broken down is a man who lacks self-control. That's the reading for today. So I just bought this about an hour ago. Mini 32 key station. I've got Reason Record running on here and Pro Tools, but Reason Record, you can what you do is you edit a MIDI file, but you can use all the instruments out of that MIDI file, just add them to the keys here. And so what I've done is I've created this quite fantasy or horror sounds just with one single note. And so that's what I'll do. I'll add music like that instead of the old tinker 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 tinker. This is the Katinka Tink machine. My dad's KN3000. So after spending years trying to figure out Octamed and bars and pipes and Tiger Cub and that, I've just all of a sudden clicked onto the fact that I can play any old thing through the drum beats and rhythms and that. And there's your music for your movie in the background. Simple as that. So that's what I'll use for the soundtracks while I'm learning to use this. I bought that just before the quake, I think. Yeah. It was 300. It was a cheaper one. It's only got one mic input and one guitar, or that's where I'm playing Dad's keyboard through. I got the laptop about 2 days before the big quake we had. The DVD drive no longer works because it got crushed by that monitor there, fell on it, and I haven't had it repaired because I just use the DVD on this machine here. I just burn all the DVDs on that instead. The problem is it's got so bad now that it wouldn't even install the drivers for the keyboard. I had to copy it onto that desktop and then transfer it that way. So yeah, I was a bit too I don't know, what do you call it, out of focus when the quake happened to actually figure out hey, I could get things repaired and not just leave them broken. So anyway, so there's camera 1 with the remote controls, and that's about it. I got that just before the quake. Said that I got that 2 days before the quake. Is that it? Keyboard. Yeah. So this is the workstation. I'm going to actually build a table bigger than that with cupboards and drawers and stuff where everything's going to fit. I have to move the printer over there. There's just not enough room for it all. So yeah. And I'm using the television, the Panasonic flat screen, as the monitor for the laptop at the moment. So I'm going to have to buy one of my own. It's going to be the most expensive piece of equipment. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. See ya.